Good afternoon, guys. How are we all going? Um, Touch on a few things. First up, I've been in the process of trying to get chat groups going that we can interact between each other on them. I know, and I knew when I was doing it, the Facebook Messenger wouldn't be very popular with a few people. I'm not trying to dictate for anyone to join Facebook or do anything there. It's purely just a way for everyone to talk to each other. Today I set up a GroupMe chat. I've put the link on the website, on the MFL website. So if you don't want to do the Facebook chat, but you're happy to jump in on the GroupMe chat, please jump in there. I'm not going to say we're going to get everyone on either chat, but at least if we've got somewhere where we can access each other just to maybe talk trade, give a shout out when you're on the clock in the draft, whatever. It can be a pretty useful resource. What I want to talk about today is just go over the last Halas draft and sort of how it compared to the old 2.0 draft and the Brown draft that we did a couple of weeks back. Obviously, hugely different. There was quite a few pretty crazy things happen, especially early on in the Halas draft. I'll pop it up on screen here in a sec. Just give me a sec. Going to shrink me down. Actually, I'm just going to take me away. Take me away, and we'll switch to this page. Okay, I've got it blown up so that hopefully you can kind of see on the video what's happening. Pretty crazy to see that many wide receivers and running backs go off the board first round of a Superflex draft. Definitely nothing near the normal. Most Superflex drafts you probably see 2, maybe 3 receivers off the board, maybe in the first round, maybe. It probably feels like there's a little bit more depth at quarterback this year, and that possibly leads to the decisions early on of going the wide receivers instead of the QBs. I have been a little bit of a surprise with Christian McCaffrey being a first round pick both drafts so far. It's hard for me to take a running back in the first round. I know McCaffrey scores like huge points, but he's getting closer. He's getting closer to 30. So at some point, he's had injury history. He's managed to stay healthy the last few seasons, but so there's always that chance. There's that chance with every player too, I guess. Just a bit surprised. I didn't really expect to see McCaffrey going off the board in the first round, to be honest. So, and it's not a bad pick by Luke at all. He scored 500 points in the last season, or close enough to if he didn't. So, but the CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase in the first 4 picks, that was craziness. I haven't seen that away from just a standard 1 QB draft. That's the only place I would have expected to see something like that. And then to see Amon-Ra go off at 7 was just mind-boggling. From my personal point of view, I had Joe Burrow very high on my rankings, and I've got Caleb pretty high on my rankings as well. But not in my wildest dreams did I expect to see those 2 guys available at 10 and 11. So, from my personal point of view, I was wrapped the way that turned out. I have gone through and put up a bit of a spreadsheet, just sort of comparing the drafts. I'll switch the monitors around. Where are we? I don't want that one. I want this one. Okay. There you go. You'll see on here. This is the results from the picks in the Halas draft. 5 QBs in the top 10, 1 running back, 4 wide receivers. And you can see the breakdown as it goes through. Compare it to Brown. And, whoops. Didn't click on it. There it is. As you can see there in the Brown draft, there was 9 QBs and 1 running back. So, massive difference. No receivers at all went off in the first round. I probably regret a pick or two that I did there. Definitely changed things up a little bit more in the Halas draft than what I did in the Brown draft. I've got a kid in front of me going absolutely crazy. Please, darling. What are you doing? God. But 15 QBs by the top 20 and 12 in that one in the Halas. So QBs did stick on the board a little longer. By around the 30th pick though, I'm pretty sure it was back to 16 on each. So and stayed pretty close to each other all the way through to the 100 mark. So 21 quarterbacks went off the board in the top 100, 22 in the Brown. So no major surprise. This was the old primetime 2.0 draft that we did last season. So yeah, this is 12 months old. So obviously depth at positions have changed a little bit. It is hard to sort of compare 12 months apart, but it just gives a bit of something to work with anyway. Defensively, there was still the same amount of defensive players get taken off the board in the top 100 in both drafts. So there was 18, 26, 27, 35 in both the Brown and the Halas. Little bit different in how many of each went off. We still had a QB go. A cornerback go pretty early in the Halas draft at 81, but it was probably the cornerback that everyone kind of expected to be going off the board early. Same amount of DTs, 1 less defensive end in the Halas draft, and 1 extra cornerback. Same amount of linebackers, so yeah. Running backs and wide receivers. There was only 6 running backs go off the board in the top 100 in the Brown draft. That's probably closer to what I expect. I'd find it quite difficult to take outside of a handful of running backs, any of them, with any significant draft capital. There's too many inconsistencies with the position. What do we have here? So 24 receivers, 23 receivers. So the receivers were pretty close. Tight ends 12, so that was identical. There was just a few extra running backs that went in the top 100 in the Halas draft. I'll switch back over. Where are we? That one there. All right. So, what running backs went in the top 100? Where are we? All right. So we had McCaffrey, Bijan, Breece Hall, Jahmyr Gibbs. They're pretty much a given. They're going to go in the top top 50 or so picks in each draft. Saquon's probably one that would probably squeeze in. Jonathan Taylor's right on the edge, and I'd say after that I'm not going to give too much away after that. Those top few, top 6 there are probably pretty bloody close to what I'd expect to go in the top 100 picks. I guess the McCaffrey pick comes back to if he's shown no signs that he isn't going to be able to keep going. But he's 28, so he's possibly still got another year or two before it really starts to catch up to him. He's had a lot of touches over the last few years, though. What are we looking at? Basically between 320 to 350 touches the last 2 years, and 2 major injuries in 2020 and 2021. So, if healthy, he's on the right offense in the league, he'll score. This guy here, that's 30-year-old, and he is 30 now. So already had his birthday for the year. Is there anything left in the tank? I said I've got a couple of Ravens fans, mates, that are in this league. That think he's probably going to lead the league in TD. So see how he goes. The wide receivers there. This is the other part I want to touch on. Look, I entirely expect receiver to come off the board early and often. Just that first round run was crazy. I did not expect that at all. It'll be interesting to see how these next 2 drafts go. I said for a heads up that anybody's in those 2 drafts, those will start probably, where are we? What's the time now? Roughly in about 20 hours, roughly. Maybe 19 hours, roughly, from when this goes up. I don't think we'll see that many receivers go off the board in the first again. I know both groups of owners pretty well coming up. We could see some crazy stuff. I was contemplating doing something a bit different myself, but just the way the board fell, left it with nothing to do. There was no choice to make. Tight ends have been really popular in both drafts. Probably more popular than I've really wanted them to be. I was really surprised the amount of tight ends that went off between pick 32 through to pick 46. That was a huge amount. What we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tight ends off in the space of 15 picks. It's crazy. That was really crazy. But it seems to be the pattern, because the Brown draft, I don't think they went off quite as quickly in that. Quite as bunched together anyway. Yeah, see, the run on them happened just that little bit later, into the 60th to the 70th picks. There was a bunch go, but they still went off the board pretty early. 23 was the earliest, so that was actually earlier than in the Halas draft. It went off at 32. So, yeah, very, very interesting results from both drafts. Where don't think I've got anything else much to show. No. No, that's pretty much it. What do we got? Once again, I'll show you on the homepage here. The GroupMe chat. I'll click on it. There is a link here. If you want to get into the GroupMe chat, just click on it. It will take you straight in, I believe, and you'll be able to join there. I've had a handful of owners join in that chat. If you wish to get into the Facebook chat, hit me up. And I've emailed everybody that wasn't in the Facebook chat this morning. Before I went to work, I spent about an hour and a half sending out emails this morning. I've sent my profile pic to everybody who isn't in there. If you would like to be added, let me know. Get back to me on the email and add me as a friend on Facebook, and I'll get you into that chat. There's about 18, 19 owners in the Facebook chat. There's probably only about a handful in the GroupMe chat at the moment. But I did only start the GroupMe chat up this morning. So whereas the Facebook one's been running probably for about a week or so. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. See you next time.